I was saying in my head, "Oh, shut up, John. You're only doing that because you're brown nosing Peter Fury." And no, seriously, all the credit in the world has to be given to the game plan.
For Fighter Ride in collaboration with Boxers in Need. Real Talk episode 9. But today we're gonna have some real talk. Let's talk about what happened last night with Rico.
Listen, man, before I even start, John, owe you a massive apology. Because you and Derek Chisora are the only ones that were properly adamant about the chances of Rico coming out successful. And I was saying in my head, "Oh, shut up, John. You're only doing that because you're brown nosing Peter Fury." And no, seriously, all the credit in the world has to be given to the game plan and Rico's fighting ability. I didn't know nothing about him. I'm just saying, no, you're dealing with an elite of the heavyweight division, right? And like everybody likes to turn around and say, "Oh, Usyk is an intergenerational great. He would have lasted in any era," and stuff like that. I'm not taking nothing away from Usyk. I think Usyk is fantastic. But the way Rico put it on him and paid him no regard to that, who he was actually in there with, shows the measure of the man and also the measure of the game plan as well. I'm going to be real. I just thought Peter Fury was just doing this for a bit of money. You know what I mean? And I owe Peter, who's a beautiful human being as well, but I owe him a massive apology, even though they were 3 minutes and 1 second away from becoming heavyweight champion of the world. That's crazy, right? But what we have to also realize is that life imitates art and art imitates life. Because if we go back to the Creed 3 movie, right, you had a man challenging for the heavyweight world championship without ever fighting. And that was Jonathan Major's character, Damian Anderson, right? And he challenged for the title, but he wins the world title. And I'm just looking at it, I'm saying, like, who would have the vulgarity to say, "All right, then, we're getting a man from a completely different field, even though it's a combat sport, but to go up against the heavyweight champion of the world," and then the WBC have the nerve and temerity, to sanction it. Let's just be real.
The WBA was on the line as well.
Right, exactly.
It was. WBC, WBA, and Ring Magazine.
All right.
So they changed it.
Yeah.
Right. So when you look at it, I'm saying, like, why would you even sanction it, right? And the thing is this, it was the way that man fought. Right now, you got to give him the credit to say that he's now a top 10 heavyweight in the world, simply because he did better than what Tyson Fury did in 2 occasions, and he did better to what Anthony Joshua did in 2 occasions. So therefore, that man has to be in the top 10 in the world in your first professional fight. But we saw something similar to this. If we go back to
Ngannou.
Right, Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury in 2023, sorry. Francis Ngannou did something incredible by going 10 rounds, but no world title on the line, right? 10 rounds with Tyson Fury. But at the same time, when he went to 10 rounds with Tyson Fury, I was there ringside for that fight. And I have to be honest, and that's what I think Ngannou put up a really gallant performance and even knocking down Tyson Fury. But I don't think that he won the fight. I think that Tyson Fury picked him at the end, right? Yeah. But in this here, all this guy had to do was to stand up. And I think that, was it Mark Latham, the referee?
Yeah.
Took away the man's opportunity. And that doesn't mean that Mark's not a good referee, because I know Mark, he's a very good referee, right? But the funny thing is this, we went 2 weeks ago, seemingly, a referee was prepared to see somebody, a referee in their corner was prepared to see somebody die. And then this time, 2 weeks down the line now, a referee wasn't prepared to see someone take any further punishment, even though they were leading on the scorecards. right? I haven't seen the scorecards, but I know what I was visualizing and
Yeah.
what I was seeing. I know from what I was seeing, no way on earth was Usyk up on points. But Usyk did. He pulled it out of the bag like the magician that he is. He pulled it out of the bag. But like I said, all the credit in the world should be given to Rico. Fantastic.
You've opened about 10 bullet points for me to say, so let me get through them real quick. Spence, you said so many things there. I've got like 10 bullet points open in my head, so let me go through a couple first. Uh, the reason I owe you a thank you because I decided to be a bit more bold in my decision making. It wasn't just the relationship I had with Peter, it was understanding what that sport of Thai boxing and MMA, the mindset's different. So the reason is when you step into a boxing ring, by default, subconsciously, you have your trainer saying, when you're getting hit, roll your head, move your head, roll, step back, this, that, and the other. These guys are used to walking through shots to get close to land elbows, knees, and kicks. To be able to get to the top level, you have to be tough. You won't see many people with glass chins. I mean, in boxing, you might see someone who's fast, who can hit hard, and might have a suspect chin. You can't have a six-pick chin at that top level. So I knew that he was going to walk in to do what he got to do. The thing where I was very impressed by, this comes to Peter Fury, is he outboxed the boxer. He outboxed him with the jab. He was smarter with the movement. The moving, the rhythm was off. It was throwing him off. And then the point you make about the ref, you need to go back and watch that because we're just about to put a post out where the bell actually went. So when you're saying it's 3 minutes and 1 second left, the bell went.
I think,
after the bell.
okay. But what I'm saying is like within all of the bedlam and everything else,
Yeah.
I think the ref didn't hear it. I don't think the ref knew that there was, even though you hear the clanger at the side last 10 seconds.
Yeah, you heard that.
Right, exactly. But you know, I mean, this is not me having no slant on Mark Latham because I believe that he's a very good referee. Right, I don't, and I don't think he's a corrupt referee. But anything that happens in this sport right now, we're gonna say, oh well, it's dodgy, it's this, it's that. Sometimes what happens is we fall into the paradigm of a consensus that is biased, right? And when we're seeing something extraordinary, because what we was witnessing yesterday was something extraordinary. A man not having no experience at all in a professional boxing ring, putting up such a gallant performance in which he did, right? Yeah. And like I said, you know what I mean, life imitates art because we was actually literally watching Creed 3. That's what we was watching. With a man with no professional experience whatsoever. Yesterday, Rico became Adonis Creed's nemesis, who's played by Jonathan Majors. He became that character. Last night, we saw him become Damian Anderson, right? But at the same time, as Peter came out and turned out and said, he said like the guy didn't have the experience not to know like, right, you know what? I'm a bit fatigued here. I'm a bit how to hold, how to grab. He didn't understand that bit there.
Yeah.
But all the credit in the world to him for that. But I'm also going to be real with you, my bro. Yeah. Usyk is getting a bit long in the tooth. Right? That's number one. Usyk is facing warfare in his homeland that his own family, his wife and his children are now in a bunker.
Yeah.
Now, no one can't tell me that's not going to play with your mind because it does. You know what I mean? Because I know for a fact, John, you love your missus emphatically. Now, if anything was going on right now with your missus and you're trying to go do the best podcast right now, or something happened to your son Donovan, right? Who's doing fantastically well in American football right now, was that in Germany or something, right? Where's your mindset? Your mind totally going to be on there. Then on top of that, I'm going to keep this thing 100. The relationship with Usyk and Joshua right now, right? Yeah. Which is a beautiful thing, but it's not a beautiful thing if you're going to be a fighter. No. Right? It's a benefit. It's a benefit for Anthony Joshua right now because Anthony Joshua is in that place. And I think Anthony Joshua is looking at Usyk as that bigger brother to put his arm around his shoulder, yeah? And he's trying to respect, and that's why I respect Anthony Joshua. He's trying to respect as a dignity, as a human being to say, right, well, you beat me. And I'm turning around saying, well, how did you manage to do that? You beat me, right? But I think the wear and tear of the 2 fights with Tyson Fury and the 2 fights with Anthony Joshua is taking its toll on Alexander Usyk. But also, I'm thinking of the mental capacity of the things that he's going through right now could add a factor. And then also, it's got to be kind of hard getting up for a kickboxer. It's got to be it has to be kind of hard because we're looking at it to the authenticity of boxing. But what I am going to say is this. I don't care what version of Muhammad Ali, right? Rico wouldn't be able to go 11 rounds with him. I don't care what version of Lennox Lewis, Rico wouldn't be able to go 11 rounds with him. I don't care what version of Larry Holmes, Rico wouldn't go 11 rounds with him. What version of Mike Tyson? I don't know about what version of Mike. Might have to change that one, right? But I don't know. But Tyson at his peak or just tail end of his peak before losing to Evander Holyfield the second time, I don't think that Mike Tyson would have gone 11 rounds with Rico. I don't think. I'm just going for it. I don't think Joe Frazier would have. I don't think Ken Norton would have. I don't think that George Foreman would have. So I'm just picking it out, right? I don't think Rocky Marciano would have. I'm just picking it out, right? So when everyone, and it's not me taking anything away from Usyk because he's got a lot of mental pressures on him as well. But I'm just gonna be real with you. Like everyone's saying, like Usyk is his intergenerational great, right? Possibly because Usyk had 25 fights now.
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah. But I'm just gonna be real. Joe Lewis had 25 world title defenses.
Yeah, true.
So Joe Lewis had more defenses, world title defenses than what Usyk has had in fights.
Yeah.
So now I'm weighing it up, and I'm just gonna be real with it, right? I'm saying like Usyk is good, right? And I still think he'd compete at any era, but I don't think he'd have beaten most of these guys in the era just by going off of what I witnessed. When people's looking at him, when he took care of Daniel Dubois, and like, he's up there, or he's greater than Lennox Lewis. I remember certain commentators saying like, he would have beaten Lennox Lewis. You're talking nonsense.
No way. No.
Right, you're talking. Yeah, I'm just gonna be real. You're talking nonsense.
No way.
But he's the great. I'm not taking away from him that he's not great. Right. I remember me having something with Sam Jones. I'm telling Sam Jones that Evander Holyfield punched up Usyk, as far as I'm concerned. But it's very difficult speaking to kids who ain't grown up in that era. So if you ain't grown up in that era, you're not looking at it. And then also sometimes you ain't grown up in the era, but you've taken the time to sit down and study these men. And when you sit down and study these men, that's when you kind of get it. But it is what it is.
You want to say something?
Oh, you carry on.
Listen, the difference between this generation and what we know is we're historians. I wasn't born in an era where Muhammad Ali was around because I wasn't born. I was born in 78, right? So, but you would think I was born in that era because I know everything about Muhammad Ali. Test me on it. Test me on Larry Holmes, test me on Willie Pep, test me on all the olden days. They want my era, but I studied that era. The problem with this generation now, for example, I won't shame anyone by name, but there are media channels with massive followings when I was there who were asked by Peter Fury, would you go and interview Crawford Ashley? And the person didn't know who Crawford Ashley was.
Yeah, but that's no shame. I'm going to explain why it is. Yeah?
No, but they don't. The thing is, a lot of people don't study the past.
Listen to their defense of them not knowing Crawford Ashley, right?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know Crawford Ashley, right? Because Crawford Ashley wasn't a world champion, number one, and you have to go deep into it, right? So on that, I'm not going to complain about people not knowing who Crawford Ashley was.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about greats, then that's the difference. When we're talking about great fights, great individuals, great men who have done things, and like this younger generation don't know about them, right? But then they walk around like they do know about them, then I find it very disturbing to me. Right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. You didn't
I know that's what you're saying, but
you didn't like the example. But the thing is, they don't know.
Well.
They don't know.
So I don't want these young channels thinking, well, Uncle Spencer having a go at us and because I'm not having a go. Yeah. I'm not having a go, and I don't think you are neither. I just know that you're dropping what you're dropping, right? Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. They just know what's in front of them. So for me, I think Uzyk's great, right, in this generation. In this generation. But even if you drop him back a couple of different generations, I don't think he wins any version of the world title.
I don't think he'll keep up with them. No, especially Van Holyfield. That's a different level.
No, I don't. No, I'm just saying straight standard. I'm just saying straight standard. If that Usyk was up against that Evander Holyfield of November of '92, who came up second best against Riddick Bowe, that guy's not beating Evander Holyfield.
No.
I don't think he beats Riddick Bowe.
You know what? I think you would have given Riddick Bowe a lot of problems, but Riddick Bowe, when he was on it, then Riddick Bowe was a different proposition, right?
He lay on you.
Right, he'd lay on you, and the inside work of Riddick Bowe as well was something spectacular. But, you know, people are going to have to look at longevity, and then Riddick Bowe didn't cultivate his longevity correctly. So, and that's the truth. But Riddick Bowe, technically, one of the best heavyweights of all time.
Yeah. And it's not against Usyk because he can only beat the man who's in front of him.
No. I'm not going to take away anything from Usyk. But what I realize is that this younger generation just don't know. That's why I'm glad that people know when you're going to go and try and talk boxing beside me, you better know your onions, bro. Right? And then certain people feel a little bit embarrassed when they're talking with me because they know I can pull them up on certain things because I'm just that guy. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
What it is, certain people, right? They're like glory supporters. They only follow the people who are winning now.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
Not looking in depth.
They jump quick.
Boxers and what they've done, the caliber and stuff like that. So that's what it is.
It's like, listen. I'll bring a conversation around. This would be interesting to see what you're going to say on this. When Johnny Nelson made his statement about Usyk, I didn't think it was that big of a deal like Adam Smith did.
And neither did I. I'm going to tell you, neither did I. All right? Neither did I. I didn't think when Johnny Nelson said what he said about Usyk, neither did I. Right? But what I am going to say is that Usyk he's a special talent. He's special. All right? I'm just going to tell you now, he's a special talent. Just look at his amateur career. But I think he's a more decorated amateur than he's a professional because of who's around.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I understand what Johnny was trying to get at, though. What Johnny was saying is Usyk does everything correct conventionally. All right, he's got good angles. Well, what Johnny's trying to say, maybe I'm wrong, but what I felt it was trying to say is that because Johnny was tricky and elusive and all the rest, he didn't fight conventionally.
I don't. You know the thing is this. Yeah, I'm just gonna be real. Okay, and I know he's like your old stable mate and everything else, yeah. But I think Johnny Nelson did everything to be a people pleaser. Right?
You laugh at that if you tell him in person, though.
No, but I'm telling you now,
yeah.
Bro. If you're gonna know one thing about me is I speak my mind, my friend. Right? I think Johnny Nelson tried too hard to be a people pleaser because I remember when Johnny Nelson first came at Sky.
Yeah,
it was like, oh, Johnny Nelson, but he's in the position that he is because people are trying to be politically correct. And you know what I mean, Johnny Nelson was a world champion, but we didn't really rate him as a world champion. And I'm looking at this and I'm saying the man was world champion for 7.5 years. What more do you have to do?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When people were saying how Johnny Nelson was a boring fighter and this, that, and all the rest of it, but like I would say to anybody, let's look at his Ezra Sellers fight and ask me if Johnny Nelson was boring. Go look at the Carl Thompson fight and then go and tell me if Johnny Nelson was boring. What happened was Johnny Nelson was a late bloomer that found himself late. And when he found himself, he literally found himself. There's a very famous quote by Les Brown, though he says, like, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do no harm. And Johnny Nelson found out that he knew how to conquer the demons of the inside, and then he flourished. It took him later to go and find it, but it took him now because now those same skills that he's learned has enabled him to transition in doing other things that he's doing.
Yeah.
If you look now, especially on the net, Johnny Nelson is everywhere, even when he is standing still. So he must know something. So all the credit in the world to Johnny Nelson. I totally understood what Johnny Nelson was saying when he thought that he could deal with Usyk and you're crazy and and all the rest of it. But as a cruiserweight, Johnny Nelson, right, is top 5 all-time cruiserweights of all time, right? So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see Johnny against Usyk actually at cruiserweight. Would have been very interesting fight that.
I think it'd have gone.
How do I think it would have gone?
Yeah, with the style of Johnny.
Well, you know what? I'm just gonna be real, yeah. I'm looking at Johnny Nelson at his optimum best. Yeah. I think Johnny Nelson at his optimum best would have given Usyk a run at cruiserweight, a massive run, right?
Agreed.
I would still have to pick Usyk to come out victorious, right? Because of the level of competition that Usyk went in with when he was champion. And even though he never made massive amounts of defenses, but the level that he went in. But what I do know is like Johnny Nelson would have given a fantastic run. It would have been a very, very close fight.
I played as Johnny Nelson on Undisputed and beat Usyk.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got the Undisputed game, but it's not me. My son has got the Undisputed because they sent it over to me. My son's got it. But so I ain't got time to play games. It's hard enough. It's hard enough being myself in London than me playing any games.
Mate, it's the rat race down there. You got to be moving quick. No time to sleep.
Bro, don't talk. But the thing about it is this, I'm grateful because God has blessed me with a nice home and beautiful children. So I'm winning out here.
Amen, amen. Listen, that's what counts. Listen, before we go, we got to give respect to the other guys on the card because we haven't even talked about him. Let's talk about Hamza Shiraz quickly.
Let me tell you this about Hamza Shiraz, yeah? I'm a big fan of Hamza Shiraz. And the reason why I am is because when you're seeing fighters right now who are going around, right, and the work that they do with their coach, massive big up to Andy Lee, who's my brother. I love Andy Lee, right? I always turn around and I say to people, and I say this loads of times, well, I look on a train, I want to know who their predecessors, right? Right? Who did you come from? Where's your lineage? Where's your loins? Who's your teacher? You know what I mean? Where did you learn the game from? You know what I mean? Was you around greatness? Did you pick it up? Or did you work out your own system and then other people to come from you? But the thing about it, you can't get the glory for that right now. You know what I mean? You can't get the glory for that right now. You're going to get that glory in 10 years, 15 years, you're still in the game. You're not going to get the glory. You don't know why? Because I remember when people turn around disrespectfully and say Don Charles was a good trainer. I remember some guy, well, I think it was Beats and Rhymes or Hatman, they did something saying Don Charles is the worst trainer. This must be about 8 years ago. Don Charles is the worst trainer in the UK. Did a poll, right?
Yeah.
You may not get the accolade straight away. But what I'm telling you is like, from who the teacher in particular that Don Charles came from, he came from a brother named Floyd, who was a trainer down at the Brixton District Boxing Club. And Don Charles came from that. That man was a superb technician.
Don's still looking for that guy. Right? Don's still looking for that guy.
Right. Well, I know he is. And I'm telling you now that Don come from him. Danny Williams come from him. I came from him. Right, but I also came from Lloyd Hannigan. I also came from James Cork and Charlie Maggie. But Floyd, oh my word, he was a magnificent trainer, right? Magnificent trainer.
Teacher.
Yeah. Sorry, my apologies. He was a magnificent teacher, right? But I would say trainer because he trained you mentally, spiritually, and physically, right? But the key thing was the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Right now. What I'm saying with Hamza Shiraz is this. Hamza Shiraz had a really good coach before, right? His uncle was like about 50,000-time national champion. His dad was involved in the game. I think his dad was a referee in the amateurs, right? And not only and they're a well-to-do family, right? They're a well-to-do family. And this young man said, right, well, I'm gonna take myself away from all of this, and I want to go on box. And the thing about it is this, with him working with Andy Lee is teaching the guy precision in punching, right? And you can see the Kronk style, how he works the jab. Now you go look, the other Kronk fighters that weren't as big as Tommy Hearns, right? but their fundamentals were sound.
Yeah.
Right? Kenny McKinney. Go look on how fundamentally sound guys fundamentally sound. Milt McCory was how you just jab your head off. If you go look on Mike McCullum, who's one of the greatest ever did, he'll jab your head off.
Yeah.
Right? Tommy Hearns obviously would jab your head off. Gerald McClellan's jab was like rapier. Right? You go look on these men and you say, right, what the fundamentals, and not only could they throw the jab once, but they could triple the jab. Go look on Hamza Shiraz. There's nothing flash about him, right? There's nothing flash. But the thing about him, there's so much steak on that plate that you don't need the sizzle. Loads of us have got sizzle but no steak. Hamza Shiraz is a combination of both of them, and him working with Andy Lee now, you can see. Look at that. Like he'll throw at the jab, and as he throws the jab to balance him, and then he'll turn on the balance. So he'll throw it out, then he'll spin back out, and he'll go downstairs to the body. But this hand's always cocked. It's not like it's down here. Like all the fighters now got this habit of fighting with their hands down here. No, Hamza Shiraz pops his shots, but he pops it. He's always on the telephone, and that's what I like about him. That. As far as I'm concerned, Hamza Shiraz is a massive problem for any super middleweight out there. And when I mean a massive problem, and it's so fitting that he's become a world champion. Not only that, but I enjoy watching him because of how he conducts himself. Always in suits. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Always like the trim and the fades on point. You know what I mean? The beard's shaped up really nice. To me, that's a marketing dream, right? Because we're not seeing those scans of him run up and down. He's got this girl, that girl, da 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 da. He's totally focused on his job, and he's a consummate professional, right? And I so enjoy that. And it's weird because if you'd have gone back in the years and you've seen Andy Lee was that kind of guy as well. Always in suits, always, do you know what I mean? That old school look. I enjoyed that. That to me, that's like you're showing homage to the past greats, not only inside the ring, but outside of it too. So all the credit in the world to him. I didn't think much of his opponent. I ain't gonna lie to you. Okay. You know what I mean? Let me come down and do a 4-week camp with Tundi and you could do my nutrition and Donovan can hold the pads. And I think I've got a chance to that guy. But I don't care about that, right? Because he bust up Belenga. The way he beat up Belenga was like, yeah. And I would like him to go and fight Belenga again because Belenga and all of these little keyboard warrior bitches are all run off their mouth saying, he cheated, he had something in his gloves or blah, 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 all that kind of nonsense. So I'd like his first because that will capture the general public. That will capture the imagination of even like, you know what I mean? You got a crossover thing as well because like you got to deal with all the Belenga's Hispanic fans as well. I see that as a great fight for him to come back to say like, all right, I'm gonna give you a rematch. This time it's for a world title. What you saying?
Listen,
Clifton
Mitchell was in a WhatsApp group last night saying that Hamza Shiraz should fight his son.
Yeah, but you know what? No disrespect. You know what I'm trying to say? Ty Mitchell is a beautiful human being. If you know, Ty's a really good dude, right? And his story is incredible. Yeah. And when he say like, he should fight my son, I'm just gonna be real. Ty needs to go and fight somebody of substance and sort out his own situation to fight somebody of substance, then to earn the right. He hasn't done anything to earn the right. And this is true. And I love Ty, right? And he's very active on social media and I really enjoy his political stance that he takes on certain things because on certain things we share the same ideology, right? Yeah. That's cool. But we're going to talk about Clifton Mitchell. I'm going to say that because Clifton Mitchell has to say that. You know what I mean? He has to. That's his son. You know what I mean? Now, that's your son, and I know that Ty could hang with most people, but he hasn't had the opportunity. Now, I think the opportunity should come for Ty Mitchell, but the opportunity I reckon should come with someone like Ben Whitaker. That first, you can't be looking at Hamza. Hamza is a world champion now. Somebody like a Ben Whitaker, somebody like of that. That's where I think you should be trying to pinpoint to try and get a shot at. You know what I mean? I don't think you should be looking right now Hamza Shiraz because he's a world champion now. Yeah. Right? That's what I'm saying. And that's no disrespect to Ty because I love Ty Mitchell.
Listen, Jack Catterall. Incredible
win. Jack Catterall's a throwback fighter. We say this time and time again, right? And he hasn't captured imagination because he doesn't talk. He's not braggadocious. He just gets on and does his work. He's an old school fighter. He's literally an old school fighter. And I'll say to any young person on there, go back and watch Barney Ross.
Yeah, it moves like it as well.
Right, go and watch Barney Ross, right, who was a freeweight world champion in the 40s. And you will see that Jack Cattrall is the wrong way around him. Jack Cattrall is Barney Ross. He's the reincarnation of Barney Ross. How he holds his hands, how he slides in with punches, how he times his shots. Jack Cattrall, to me, is a throwback fighter. And I'm glad that he's won the WBA regular crown because now that can lead on to other things. It's been a long time coming. I'm happy for Jack Cattrall because Jack Cattrall is a lovely human being. And when people say, well, he don't talk, you know, he don't need to. Sam Jones is manager. Sam Jones can talk shit for everybody. You know what I mean? So therefore he doesn't need to talk. He's got a very good braggadocious, loud, charismatic manager that's going to do that job for him. I believe. I'd like to see him in some big fights right now. Let him get some big fights because there's some nice names around in that division.
Do you count the regular as an actual world title? Because if so, Daniel Dubois is a 3-time world champion, isn't it?
No, I'm just gonna be realistic, yeah. I'm gonna say it's a good accolade for Jack Cattrall. Do you understand?
Stepping stone.
It's a good accolade for Jack Cattrall, and I'm not going to diminish the fact that it's a regular world crown, right? I'm not going to be fooled. It's a regular world crown. What you should be doing, because titles are so fragmented now and everything else, but it can lead to something else for him. So I hope that it leads for something bigger for Jack Cattrall.
Rolly.
Yeah, that's what I hope for, because end of the day, Rolly Marrero said he just come out with a statement that he's retired, right? So, and he's saying, because he's looking for these big fights, he's not getting them. So make that fight. You know what I mean? Make that fight. Honor the hard work and dedication, the years that both of these men have put into the game. And if we could do that, and plus, you know what I mean? Are we forgetting that Rolly has a fantastic win over Garcia? But Garcia's just bounced back now, won the WBC crown, he's going to be fighting Conor Benn. So I'm saying, yeah, give Jack Cattrall that Rolly fight. That's what I'd like to see.
Listen, I have to just say this on camera. I have to give a big respect, and I'll explain why I'm doing it on camera. I have to give big respect to John Giles, the trainer of Jack Cattrall, because last night, there's no disrespect to the people that were commentating. They obviously didn't know who John Giles was, because the second in the corner was Smith brother. Stephen Smith. He was outside the ropes, which means he's the second. The trainer was John Giles. He's the guy who's been putting the work in with Jack Cattrall. But they kept on referring to the trainer as Stephen Smith and the experience. I know John Giles, a very humble man. I messaged him last night after the fight, and he goes, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care about getting any respect as long as he's got the win. And I'll be back in the gym Monday morning training the rest of the fighters. But it's only right to give us his roses because he's put a lot of work in.
This how it goes is this, like, unfortunately is this, right? It's like media people are actually lazy, you know that, right? So John Giles is doing his work. He's not a braggadocious man. He's a very humble man. He just wants to come and do his work and go home and get paid, right? Not saying that Stephen Smith ain't like that as well, but Stephen Smith's a name. You know what I mean? He's a former world title challenger. You know what I mean? He's done his bits, right? So who do you think they're going to grab? Who do you think they're going to talk? Who do you think they're going to talk about? I mean, this is no disrespect to Giles, but I'm glad that you mentioned about who are they going to talk about.
I hear you.
And not only that, but remember, you're getting people who are researching and writing down things and putting them down, yeah? I question many of these researchers. And you go see it on BBC News, right? Peter Fury was quoted as being the father of Tyson Fury.
That's madness.
Right, on BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. Did you see that? I had to post it. So, and that's not me having a slight at BBC because everyone's a bitch now. But I'm saying, like, you need to start going to real knowledge. And what I'm realizing today is this. The people who get up top, yeah, don't really know shit, but they get to the top. And as they get to the top, they don't want to empower anybody who knows more than them. So they keep it at that level. And this is what happens in not only in boxing, because I see it's happening regularly in boxing. I've seen the clean out that they've done in boxing, like they got rid of the old guard. You got to we get rid of you. They get rid of the old guard. So they're the ones who are sitting at this position of the mighty throne of having knowledge. But really and truly, they know friggin' nothing. Right? But then it gets passed down. But the thing about it is, this is why many people get annoyed with me, because I always pull out bullshit. Because, you know what I mean, I work for God. So I'm good. Right? Yeah. That's the thing, right? I get financially rewarded from the Pentecostal Community Bank, and I also get financial rewarded from the TCU 29. I get financial reward from them, right? But I can call out bullshit when I see it. Right, but other people won't call it out because everyone wants to be friends with people. It's like, oh, I can't say this. I can't
You're
say
right,
this.
man.
Da, 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 da. And this is what I said. It's just like when you're saying, right, yes, but I'm going to take a leaf out of your book. Speak your truth.
Listen, I'm going to speak.
Your truth don't have to be my truth. Your truth is your truth. Stand in your truth.
Listen, I'm going to speak my truth now, but I want to ask you. I want to ask if this has happened to you, right? My wife laughs at this. Sometimes it happens from people that I know, so it's all right, kind of let it slip. But people that I don't know are saying it. Have you ever found that when you're saying things on camera, you say little lines and little sayings and this, that, and the other, the people take your stuff, or the people above you take your stuff and run with it?
Their lyrics.
Brother, listen, let me tell you this now, yeah? That is the biggest compliment to me. People above me, there's nobody above me.
Yeah.
And I'm not above nobody else. So that doesn't bother me. But loads of people take my lines. But that's the thing about it, this is like, that's cool, but everybody knows you can take the line, but can you deliver it like me? Right? I could go on loads. I could go on a real big rant right now, but I don't want to be a bitch. But I could go on a real big rant. But when I hear it, I don't get offended by it. At all. At all. Because what I realize is not where you take it from, is where you take it to. So if they're on a bigger platform and they're taking my line and they're saying but I know you've taken it from me. Right, I know they have, right? Then that's only a good thing, because knowledge is wasted if it's not shared, right? But the thing what is nice is this is like when you get those, it's an accolade. When people are taking your lines, to me that's an accolade because of social media. And I've got on social, I've got a big number, I've got a big following on social, so I'm okay, right? So people always know where they get it from. And certain times when people do steal my shit, then sometimes my head can take me and I'll expose you. Oh, I wonder where you got this from. But I know right now, when you stand in your truth, you stand in your power, you stand in your lane, nobody can come into, because it's your lane. You know what I mean?
My wife always tells me this. That's what you like me, you got lyrics for day because it's knowledge, you've lived it. It's not that you're born.
No, I'm not like you. No, I'm nothing like you.
I'm better looking than you, so we know that already.
No, maybe
so
you are, but I want you to realize I'm nothing like you. You are you, I am me.
That's correct. Right? But
when God created me, he created me as me. There is nobody like me. Through the definition of my fingerprint, there is nobody like me.
There's no one like me either. But what I meant. I
understand what you meant, but I just
listen. What I meant in the metaphor is sometimes when you're on a journey, you've gone through the experience, you'll always have more to say. Whereas some people that have not been through an experience
they've got nothing to say, so they
end up in I'm bringing it towards a really good line, right? They take what you say, they say it because they somehow went laterally and got ahead of you on the numbers or the opportunities. And this is where I come to. Derek Chisora said something this week what I thought was brilliant. He says, he was talking about caveat. He says, understand the game. This game is not about how much ability that you've got. It's about how connected you are. All right. So some people get better connected early on by fluke, by accident, by positioning, whatever. They get better connected. They move up the food chain. They have a voice. They have a platform. And then they realize, absolutely, I'm out of my depth here. Like, I've been put in a position. And then they start listening to what other people are saying and they're sat there listening to what other people are thinking, right, they're going to say it to keep. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? To keep their position.
I understand. But the thing about it is this, right? Your numbers are only going to improve because you guys you're being
authentic,
continuous, right? Yeah. So your numbers are only going to improve.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate. Right? I've been in this game a long time. And what I realize is this is like, instead of trying to walk in other people's shoes, get the shoes that fit you and run in them. And I've learned that. That is all. You know what I mean? I don't need no accolades or no pats on the back, even though I'm going to get a lot of accolades, especially from next month. Right? But I'll talk to you about that off camera. But I'm saying to you, like, stand in your truth of who you are. That is it. You know what I mean? And when you stand in your own truth, then you know you're going to be just fine. You know what I mean? Don't try to deliberately step on anything anybody's toes, and don't try and cop block anybody. There's loads of cop blockers out there. You know that. I know that you guys have experienced the cop blockers. But you see me, I'm very open. Like, somebody asks me for help, I just go and do it.
Yeah.
Right? Because it don't make no difference to me. Because, like, your light shining bright or very, very bright is not going to diminish my light. You know what I mean? It's not. And some people just need to understand that, right? And I've understood that ages ago. But on certain things, I know, like, when all said and done, all you can do is all you can do. And all I can do is try and be the best father that I can to my children and make sure that I provide for my children. And if I could do that, then I'm a happy man, right? And through certain circumstances of life, you could fall out with certain people or blah, or like, you know what I mean? If I could go speak to my old former self, I would say to my younger self, only be with a woman that you're set to marry. And if you did that, only be with a woman that you said to, no, I want a good time, blah, 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 and certain things you restrain, and it's hard when you're handsome as I am and stuff like that. But I would say only be with a female that you're looking to go settle down. Do you know what I mean? And when you're looking for a woman, make sure that she has that same divine spiritual light inside of her. That's what I would say. Because once you get that, then you've won. That is it. You've won.
I won. My wife brought me to the Lord. My wife cooks, cleans, look after me. Best counsel, best friend I've got. I'm lucky.
Right. So, and that's it. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Yeah. You know what I mean? And as long as your wife can cook as well.
My wife can cook, man.
As long as she can cook.
Johnny comes down just for the food.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. He's like, I'll be in half an hour.
Johnny's a greedy little bugger as well, so yeah, I could take it.
But
no, I'm just saying, like, how it goes in boxing is that we've got so many blackguards in this thing. Yeah?
Too many.
So many blackguards.
Many.
So we've got so many blackguards. So what will happen is this: they have to find something to try and block you from getting to where you're going, right? But the thing about it is this: I'm very fortunate that I'm a superb networker, so I'm very fortunate, right? But not only that, is like when people say your net worth is your network, yeah. I don't really look at that as that. I look at it as like you have to network to get work. Simple as that, right? So you guys at 13, just keep on pushing, just keep on, because you're gonna break this, but you have to be on it. You've got to be on it. Or as the great Les Brown says, you have to be hungry. You know what I mean? And the great Les Brown also said, it's not over until I win. So keep on pushing forward. As Babatunde Ajayi says, dream it, believe it, become it. Or as I say, come on up. And you have to visualize to materialize. So keep on visualizing. And it's an honor to have spent my Sunday with you guys. I'm going out shopping right now because it's hot. And yeah, I've got little bits and bobs to do around the house. And yeah, so peace, two fingers. You know what I mean?
What's the shopping for yourself or just family?
You're nosy, man. We asking big people questions.
In general, like
hey, about to PS1.
Go ahead, man.
He wants to if you're getting some food.
Treating yourself.
He wants to if you're getting food.
You need to treat yourself sometimes. Good.
Yeah, no, but listen, let me tell you this, yeah? The treating of yourself is a must. Right? So every now and then treat yourself. I've done that over the last couple of days, so I'm cool. You know what I mean? I'm just buying up some stuff in the house. That's what I'm gonna go do.
Listen, we live starving, we live fasted. I live like a fasted man. And with that, we're gonna check out.
Okay.
Guys, if you're vibing,
man. So you know the rules.
Yeah.
Go on.
1 second. Let me do the checkout. If you're vibing,
start subscribing. Boom.
Start subscribing. Boom, boom, boom.
13th and the final round.
13th and final round.
13th final round.
You hit the comment.
Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscription button.